Jake Paul's California mansion has been raided by the FBI, multiple news organizations report. You can see in this aerial footage agents in uniform outside his home in Calabasas.
You know what's funny about your brother? Your brother talks more shit than anybody else on the planet. They're trying to sue people when people talk shit. There's people out there saying they're fake fights, they're fixed.
You know, for me, in my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, you know, up the weight difference, and, you know, Joshua's a former, you know, champion. And also, you know, he's current, he's active.
That was not a boxing match. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this contest. And then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt.
Once again, Jake Paul is caught in a storm that could signal the downfall of the controversial YouTuber turned boxer. New allegations claim Paul allegedly scripted his major fights, including the headline-grabbing Netflix bout with Anthony Joshua, sparking viral outrage online, with some social media circles even alleging that he and his brother faced arrest over these claims. Although promoters and boxing officials have strongly rejected the idea that professional bouts can be prearranged without serious legal repercussions, doubts about Paul's legitimacy inside the ring have hit an all-time high. It's a stunning turn for someone whose past already includes an FBI raid on his Calabasas mansion. As accusations continue to spread and his boxing credibility faces its toughest test yet, many are now wondering if this marks the true end of Jake Paul's rapid rise.
California home of YouTube star Jake Paul. Federal officials say the search was part of an investigation. Wendy Birch is in Calabasas with what we're learning tonight.
Sky 5 was overhead this morning as federal agents entered Jake Paul's Calabasas home located in this gated community off of Mulholland Highway. We counted close to 24 federal agents, some of them in tactical gear, entering the residence. Why they were here and what they were looking for, that remains unclear. The federal search warrant has been sealed.
Multiple boxing analysts, former fighters, and promoters have questioned Jake Paul's fight credibility for years, well before the recent arrest rumors emerge. From carefully chosen opponents past their prime to strange fight pacing, late knockdowns, and contracts rumored to contain restrictive clauses, critics argue that Paul's rise has felt more manufactured than earned.
I've been curious about this because, like, you know, you saw the Askren fight, we saw these fights that he went into. The Fury one obviously didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, just because I was so convinced that, like, Jake had these fights fixed, and there's a lot of people who talk about the fights being fixed because it's just the way it is.
Yeah, they tell me that too. They're like, tell me you're not going to take a fall against Paul. Everybody says that to me. I'm like, are you kidding me? You couldn't pay me all the money in the world.
Veteran voices in boxing have long noted that while Paul brings huge attention and money to the sport, his matchups often sidestep real competitive danger, deepening suspicions that outcomes are shaped to protect the brand rather than test true skill. As these doubts continue to grow, each new controversy doesn't stand alone, but strengthens the narrative that Jake Paul's boxing run has been built on optics, leverage, and control, not the raw unpredictability that defines the sport.
If that Jake Paul fight was set up.
What happened to me is what was going to happen to him had he dropped those hands. If I say, Rampage, I'm going to pay you $2 million, right? That this dude beat you, what you going to do? You're going to feel disrespected, number one. Right? That ain't enough money. For me to do that, I got to be willing to walk away for good. Something like 20-something million where I can invest it and fall off in the shade.
In the past, the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight grabbed headlines for its intensity and drama. Online chaos erupted after rumors of a leaked script claimed the bout was pre-planned, with alleged audio recordings fueling accusations that key moments, including Tyson's supposed fatigue and Paul's knockout victory, were staged.
Graduate in the United States is $1.3 million. Again, that's over the course of the person's entire life. Jake Paul earned 30 times that in one night. People talk about winners and losers, like Jake Paul won.
After defeating Mike Tyson, Jake Paul shared his thoughts on the fight, confidently stating, "I didn't get much punched or hurt," signaling his belief that he dominated the bout with minimal resistance. While many fans praised the comment as evidence of his skill and readiness to face legends, critics pushed back, highlighting the lack of danger and excitement. Calling Tyson showing underwhelming and questioning whether the fight was ever a fair contest.
Super Bowl.
Big as the Super Bowl.
Big as the what?
Why was Mike wearing assless chaps though? In the
did that moment go viral with his cheeks out?
I don't know. It made my stomach hurt.
I was seeing
Why
it
did he
while
have
I was
underwear
ringside. He had a G-string on, is what he had.
I thought he was completely butt naked.
Nah, he looked like a stripper.
But yeah, biggest live gate, 18.1 millions in U.S. boxing history outside of Las Vegas. A phenomenal night. I'm sorry I didn't knock him out though, guys.
Shut the fuck up. It was
really
crazy when
sorry.
we talked about this. I told him you were gonna say some dumb shit. You did the right thing at the end.
The recent fight against Anthony Joshua has been no different, with many commentators calling the matchup absurd due to the vast gap in experience, size, and pedigree. A YouTuber-turned-boxer with a 12-1 record sharing the ring with a former two-time heavyweight world champion who has faced elite opposition has been widely labeled more spectacle than sport, with some viewing Paul as a cash-grab opponent rather than a legitimate challenge, further fueling speculation about the event's credibility.
Jake Paul, fake Paul I call him, against Anthony Joshua. Massive unit, two-time world champ, still got a big punch. I think he's mentally fragile at world level if he goes against the big guns because of the knockout, especially the Dubois knockout when he got fucking splattered. You know what I mean? In round 5, and he got hurt early on and then he got done. And he's not been in the ring for 13 months.
Yeah.
But can you see a world in which Jake Paul is competitive in this fight?
No.
No. How do you see the fight going if AJ takes it serious?
It'll be over when he wants.
Meanwhile, Jake Paul is entering this fight with a level of confidence that has surprised even seasoned observers. Recent commentary notes that he genuinely believes he can rise to the challenge and secure victory. Unlike some past matchups, Paul appears sharply focused and determined, with analysts pointing to his mindset as a key factor, reflecting both physical preparation and mental resolve. This suggests he is not underestimating the task of facing a former heavyweight champion, but instead embracing it as a chance to prove himself on the world stage.
He's very big. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation. We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight, was in Miami against Gibb. I'm bringing that same energy here.
However, Jake Paul's growing confidence has been met with skepticism from many seasoned analysts. Critics argue that his belief in challenging someone like Anthony Joshua is unrealistic, pointing out that Joshua is a highly decorated heavyweight with years of elite training, multiple championship bouts, and proven durability that Paul has never faced. Some observers also question Paul's physique and performances, suggesting he may be relying on artificial advantages rather than tested experience.
Pretty certain confidence in that statement, mainly because, as you heard me mention, I know a lot of the people he trains with and I have heard things. Now let's give Jake the benefit of the doubt, right? He's able to restrain from the peer pressure that everyone's putting on him to hop on these certain compounds. Then that would be cool to train natural, do what he needs to do. But the thing is, his body composition has changed so much, his explosiveness, his power, and yes, that comes with training and time. But I find it very, very suspicious that for some reason, whenever a drug test gets brought up, for instance, when Fury wanted that in the contract, Jake Paul turns them down. So you should think to yourself, it's probably because he's not natural. Now I want to make it clear, I don't care whether Jake Paul is natural or not. There's so many people that aren't natural that are in combat sports. In fact, Tyron Woodley probably is also not natural. Everyone wants that little edge over their competition, and that's where drugs and anabolics come into play. There's certain compounds that are out there that just increase your explosiveness immensely, your recovery, so that you can stay in the same weight class, which is very important for combat sports, whether that's boxing, UFC, whatever type of combat sport you're doing. So that is why you guys have seen so much improvement from Jake Paul. Of course, he has a great circle around him, great trainers, great coaches, a great regimen, but definitely anabolics play a very fundamental role in that. They allow him to train as hard as he does. They allow him to increase his power and speed. And of course, when you think of those concepts, that's...
Despite the controversies, real money is being placed on the fight, with the betting action becoming part of the Paul versus Joshua debate. Fans, casual bettors, and even well-known figures are wagering on the outcome, further fueling arguments over whether the matchup is a legitimate sporting contest or simply a spectacle.
Do you think it's actually... So you think that Jake Paul...
You couldn't fake it. You really think Anthony Joshua's going to put his whole livelihood on the line for Jake Paul?
No, I don't think he would.
So there you go. It's over when he wants it to be over.
There could be some kind of tacit agreement in the background.
How?
Where they have a handshake.
Then that's illegal. You're going to jail.
Exactly, it's illegal. That's what I was going to say.
So you can't.
Because it's not an exhibition.
No, it's a fight.
So
and people are betting on it. Big amounts of money.
So we're watching this. I'm flying out there next week to Miami to watch it. So I'm going out there. He's laughing. I'm getting some old. So it's all good. But it's like Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua, 6 foot. Was he 6'6"?
About that.
Fucking. What's he 16? What's 245 pounds?
He can't be a pound over 245.
What's that in stone?
The best part, just on 17 stone or just under.
So Jake lost to Tommy Fury, and that's the one everyone keeps on. Do you think he's improved much since Tommy Fury?
Yeah, but do I think he's improved enough to be competitive? Unless I close my eyes and Josh is completely shot to bits, no.
Yeah, and so is the potential that Jake Paul, like, I know you keep saying no, I know you're right, but is there a world in which you see...
As rumors of a leaked script spread, boxers who faced Jake Paul came under scrutiny, with some accusing him of undermining their legacies. Fans speculated that Tyson compromised his storied career by taking part in a fight widely perceived as staged.
They leaked all the way down to the bow Jake did in round 8. This profile on X posted it anonymously one day before the fight, explaining everything before deleting it today. A fake script has been going around that said Mike Tyson will get KO'd in round 5, but that one was clearly not real or an older script. This will give you goosebumps. I'm just going to read you parts, but if you want to see the full script, I'll show you it at the end. Round 1, opening bell rings and Tyson is showing flashes of his old form, but slower than his prime. Round 2, Tyson comes alive, but his breathing grows heavier. Round 3, Paul gains confidence and lands a sharp right that stuns Tyson. That's exactly what happened. Then round 4 and 5, the fatigue sets in strong for Tyson and Jake is landing a bunch of hits. Round 6, Jake showboats, which is the tongue thing he did here. Then on round 7, Jake plays it safe to not KO Mike. And round 8 wins by decision and bows at the end. This is crazy.
Observers noted unusual moments during Jake Paul's fights, including Tyson allegedly whispering instructions to him and referees seemingly signaling Paul to avoid certain moves, which fueled suspicions of scripting. However, Matchroom Boxing CEO Eddie Hearn has publicly denied that the Paul vs. Joshua fight is fixed, emphasizing that if the bout occurs, it will be a legitimate professional fight under Queensberry rules, not an exhibition or pre-planned performance.
It's scripted. Mike Tyson repeatedly bit his boxing glove throughout the fight. When fights are scripted, fighters do weird gestures to signal that they're hurt. It's very possible Mike Tyson was biting on his glove to tell Jake Paul to calm down. Now, if that's not enough proof that this fight was scripted, in the middle of the fight, Mike Tyson is literally talking to Jake Paul while they are clinching. And in the middle of the fight, the referee told Jake Paul to stop measuring. For those of you who don't know, in boxing terms, measuring means that you're setting up for a knockout by seeing how far your opponent is with jab. The referee literally told Jake Paul to stop measuring, and before the fight, we see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul whispering stuff to each other. Mike Tyson biting on his gloves, whispering secrets to Jake Paul in the middle of the fight, and the referee literally telling Jake Paul to stop measuring during the fight.
Many believe the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight was scripted, pointing to moments like Tyson repeatedly biting his glove, whispering to Paul during clinches, and the referee allegedly telling Paul to stop measuring, a term in boxing for gauging knockout distance. These actions fueled suspicions of staged choreography. Adding to the controversy, Frank Smith has criticized the upcoming Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight, suggesting it may prioritize showmanship over sport. He argued that the bout appears designed to entertain and shock rather than test true skill, casting doubt on its competitiveness. Despite this, Smith remains hopeful a Joshua versus Fury matchup could still happen, calling it one of the biggest fights to be made happen by 2026. Though he cautioned that boxing is full of talk and many proposed fights never materialized due to logistical and contractual hurdles. Addressing critics who claim Joshua is risking his legacy by facing Jake Paul, Smith highlighted Joshua's accomplishments, Olympic gold medalist and two-time unified heavyweight champion. He noted that if Joshua doesn't finish Paul convincingly, fans may unfairly write it off, but stressed there are no secret contracts or exhibition arrangements. The 8-round fight is a serious professional bout. Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, also addressed scripting rumors, joking that the only script is Joshua's plan to knock Paul out quickly. Hearn emphasized that the fight is 100% real under professional rules and that Joshua would never hold back. He added that any notion of prearranged outcomes is impossible, reinforcing that Joshua is entering to do a job in the ring as the fight approaches. Debates continue. Is this the end of Jake Paul's era, or just another scandal he'll walk away from?